Now, copper is a metal that in small amounts is necessary for some of the physiological processes that occur in the body. So whether it's proper neurotransmitter function or otherwise, it's important, but it has to be in the right amount. And there's so many different causes today of copper in so many different places that we're exposed to excess copper that we have copper toxicity. So we're going to talk about that today, some of the causes, some of the root ways to get to the bottom of this stuff, and some of the ways that conventional medicine once again leads us astray from fixing this issue. So copper toxicity, some of the symptoms of copper toxicity, similar to my last video on neurotransmitters. You may want to watch that one. I'll link it below because neurotransmitters are highly affected by copper. So we have fatigue. So just general tiredness. You're just always tired and there's not really a rhyme or reason why. You may feel otherwise pretty healthy, but you're just fatigued. Next, we have anxiety. A lot of people with copper toxicity issues, when I run their blood work, I find that high copper is almost always linked to anxiety. And as soon as we get those copper levels back under control, whether we retest or we just base off patient symptoms, these symptoms go away. Moving on, insomnia. So you may have that fight or flight mode in the evening that's sometimes tied in with adrenal issues. We'll talk more about that in a second, but you may find that you're wired and tired at night. You're laying your head down on the pillow, but you're not able to fall asleep. Your mind is racing. Brain fog. You're not able to actually focus, concentrate. You're looking at a book. You may have read a whole page and you have no idea what you just read. That is a copperhead symptom. Also, mood instability. Now, back before I fixed my copper toxicity, I was somewhat unstable. I'll be honest with you. I just felt like some days are the best days in the world and some days everything sucks. And you know, it's normal in life to have some of those fluctuations, but if you're always up and down and these huge roller coasters that you go on, this is when you're going to go to your conventional medical doctor and they're going to prescribe you an antidepressant, which is not going to fix the issue of copper toxicity that's causing you these symptoms and feelings in the first place. So after I fixed my own copper and zinc imbalance, I was able to feel better. You just heard me say the word zinc, so that's going to take us right into some of the causes of copper toxicity. Number one being low HCl, hydrochloric acid. This is very essential for proper zinc and copper balance. So just like calcium and magnesium are supposed to be in a balance, zinc and copper are supposed to be in a balance. Liver burden. The liver has so much to do these days. Environmental toxins, synthetic estrogens, pesticides, phthalates, plastics, I mean everything. There's so much stuff that's burdening our livers. Exhaust fumes. I mean, sitting in 5 o'clock traffic is a burden to the liver. So the liver's trying to do all these other tasks. It can't properly regulate copper if the liver's so overburdened. So I always look at getting some good herbal support or some good nutrient support to help out the liver. Give it a break. It's tired in the modern world. Moving on, birth control. So many female clients of mine have IUDs, these copper implants. There's no better way to get copper into the system than just injecting it, right? So this is a huge deal. Obviously, it's not a life sentence if you've had this copper IUD, but it's important to get this stuff under control now before it gives you even more symptoms. I find that a lot of female clients that have these copper IUDs are irritable, depressed, bipolar, they gain weight. I mean, there's so many things that happen with those, so just not really a good solution to birth control. We'll save that for another video. Supplements. So a lot of people take the random multivitamin that they were prescribed or that they were recommended by their doctor, the Centrum, and a lot of these low quality ingredients out there, and they have copper in them. So you could go take a look at your labels right now. You may be putting copper into your body via supplementation and not even knowing it. Where we talked about copper toxicity and how when you have these metals in your body, electromagnetic fields, your cell phones, your Wi-Fi, cell phone towers, all of those things can increase your sickness because you're basically an antenna now that you have all this copper inside of your body. Crazy subject, right? Foods. Lastly, I know dark chocolate is amazing, but that just feeds this copper imbalance even more because dark chocolate is very rich in copper. Nuts and seeds, same thing. Your almonds, your cashews, all of these nut butters. I mean, think of all the times you've spread almond butter onto a nice organic pink lady apple. That almond butter is also rich in not chocolate. That sounds good though. Rich in copper. Almonds are rich in copper, so too many nuts and seeds can also throw off this balance. Lastly, cookware. I personally don't use copper cookware. Don't buy it. That's a direct way to get copper into your life, and you don't need any more. So, let's move on. What are we going to do about it? Fix it. Well, since I don't have room to put digestion, HCl is kind of the foundation of digestion anyway, having adequate levels of that as well as your other digestive enzymes. So optimizing HCl levels in digestion is always my first step with clients because we have to get them digesting better. Second, what do? I always look at nutrients. So vitamin C, I love it. It's great for the adrenal glands. That's going to relieve some of the stress on your system in general. Some of this liver stress is going to get relieved by vitamin C. Also, we can look at some digestive support, so that's going to be tied into optimizing the HCl. So whether it's some beets or, that's actually, let's stop there. Beets. Get some beets into your diet. If you just want to do beet powder, that's fine. But beets are going to be really helpful for the gallbladder or the liver. It's going to help everything out. That's another great way to get some nutrients in that are going to help fix this copper toxicity issue. Let's go a little deeper. Copper-free diet. So obviously it's going to be hard to completely eradicate copper because it's in trace amounts even in your water supply sometimes. So it's not something that we can always avoid, but as much as we can, if you have a verified and identified that you have copper toxicity, then we want to watch out with nuts and seeds and dark chocolate and remove all these things from the diet, even if it's just temporarily, I promise. And then we'll add these things back in once we fix this ratio. Part of the simple way is just zinc. I always start with just zinc. Now, you don't want to do too much because what happens is a lot of people are going to watch this video and going to think, oh, I'm going to oppose copper, I'm going to take zinc. And they go and take 250 milligrams of zinc every day. And then you feel like you're losing your mind and you go manic. Well, what's happened is you've caused a copper dump because you didn't properly adjust and allow your body to balance this stuff out. I mean, you've just taken a sledgehammer, you're trying to put a little nail in, you're going to nail that into this little piece of wood, but you're using this gargantuous sledgehammer, boom, hitting that nail in. That's the wrong tool for the job. So we always want to start with less. Less is more when you're talking about zinc and copper. You don't want to make yourself feel like you're losing your mind. I have personal experience back in 2009 when my health journey started. And I started taking supplemental zinc. I didn't do the research. I wasn't well educated on this subject yet because a lot of people just aren't. This is a very underappreciated and under-discussed topic when it comes to mood disorders, fatigue, energy, things like that. So I just went willy-nilly with zinc and it was not good. So I had to learn the smart way. So start low and slow, whether it's 15, 20 milligrams of zinc, whether it's 50, 100. This is just going to depend on your personal bio-individuality. It's going to depend on your nutrition. It's going to depend on the health of your liver. And it's ultimately going to depend on the serum level of copper in your body. So I think that's a good way to wrap this thing up. Take care. This is Evan Brand. Bye.